today, home gardening.
Well, yes, we can talk about houseplants. We can talk about your outside. I hope you all did get your bulbs planted and your shrubs and trees planted. There's still time, but that was the nice weather. This morning's not bad. I brought in a little beautiful container of some succulents. These are all small plants, a little collection of them. But what you should know about succulents, for people who tell me, oh, I always kill my houseplants, this kind of plant is easy if you just don't overwater. When you see fleshy-leaved plants, if they have thick leaves, it means they hold water a long time, like desert plants would do, and therefore they need to see water only rarely. You will rot them if you overdo it. So take it easy on the watering and enjoy your succulents.
Pretty easy to take care of them.
That's right.
All right, I believe we have Karen on the phone from Arcade. Good morning.
Good morning, Karen.
Good morning, Sally. My question is, when's a good time to separate mums and replant them in other areas? I have a huge one.
Okay, don't do that now. Wait till spring. And spring is the best time we'd actually plant mums, but we don't usually have access to them. If you're still trying to plant your chrysanthemum you had for fall, it's kind of late to have it successfully live for the rest of the winter. But with the one you already have in the ground, I would say let it wait until spring.
Okay, we have our next caller, Jan from Depew. Good morning, Jan.
Good morning, ladies.
How are you? What's your question?
My question is, I have several bushes in the front of my house, and the front of my house is brick. They're like up against the brick. Is this a bad thing to have for the wintertime? Would that do some damage, or should we get behind them and trim them up a little?
Okay, I think you're worrying about protecting the house versus the shrubs. Really, it's not going to do much harm. I mean, I guess if a shrub rubs hard on your siding or your brick, it could wear away over time, but that's not really a problem. It is always good if we would all plant our landscape plants, our foundation plants, out much further from the house. Don't put them where they're going to touch the house when they get to be big boys. Put them 5 feet out, something like that. So we need to adjust our ways, but for yours, trim them if they bother you, and otherwise do most of your pruning in late winter.
Okay, we have Kevin next from Cheektowaga. Good morning.
Good morning, Sally. Got a question for you. I have a butterfly bush in the backyard, and how do I prune it? Do I prune it this time of year, or do I wait till spring?
In western New York, butterfly bushes often die because it's not quite hardy enough here, or we don't have the perfect drainage. So you give them a better chance if you leave them mostly standing until spring. That crown protects those root systems a little bit. Now, if it's bothering you, go ahead and cut it back halfway and then finish the job in spring, and we can talk then about whether you cut it partway back or whether you go all the way to the bottom.
All right, up next, Amy. Good morning, Amy from Niagara Falls.
Good morning. I have a question. I have 2 blueberry bushes potted on my porch, and I was wondering if I should bring them in for the winter in the garage, or should I wrap them in burlap?
If you can plant them in the ground, that's the first best thing. Any shrub or perennial really are still better in the ground over the winter. But if it's too late for you, then your choices would be put them outside against the house, maybe wrapped in burlap, wrapped in straw, something that'll protect them, or put them in a garage where they will freeze but not go through a lot of radical changes. I'm getting a lot of questions about all of these things, and the one tip I want to give all of you right now is, if you've planted anything in the last couple of months, be sure it goes into winter well watered. Don't put your hose away quite yet. Water them deeply. I know we're supposed to have rain, but if it isn't a big rain, don't trust that your roots are wet enough.
Right.
Just do some watering.
Always better to put a little more water on them. All right, I think we have time for one last call. Okay. Judy from Orchard Park. Good morning, Judy.
Good morning. Good morning. Sally, my question is, I have some trees in our backyard, and the branches are dead. Is it too late to prune it?
If you have some dead trees, it's always a fine time to take dead limbs off, diseased limbs off, prune properly just outside the branch collar, close to the trunk, but not flush with the trunk. And so take dead ones off is just fine. But otherwise, save the major pruning till a little bit later in the late end of winter. But yes, and if an arborist is hired, an arborist will do the right thing at any time of year.
Great advice. As always, thank you, Sally Cunnigham, our gardening expert. All right.